Good morning, everyone. I hope you guys are all having a blessed week. Hey, I just wanted to do a quick video and talk about cheap Chinese / Taiwan made chrome covers. A friend of mine just bought a early 90s Softail, and he bought it because he got a good price on it. Well, he gets it home and he looks at this thing, and guys, I'm not kidding. This bike has every chrome cover that's ever been made for that year of Softail. I mean, from the front to the back, every single square inch of that bike had a chrome cover on it. I mean, axle bolts, just every single part of that bike. And it took him several hours to take all those covers off. And when he got them all off, he had a nice little pile in his garage floor. And what he told me he was going to do, he's just going to put the whole lot on eBay and sell them all. So guys, listen. I just don't understand why someone needs all those covers. I mostly like older Harley Davidsons, older iron. And I've owned several iron heads. I've owned a shovel head. I've had a Evolution Wide Glide and an Evolution Sportster. The newest bike I've ever owned, I think, was an 88. But anyway, I don't like chrome covers. And there's several reasons why I don't like them, and I wanted to share that with you. And number one, they're total crap. They are complete total crap. They're made out of thin metal. They've got terrible welds on them if they've got welds. They've got cheap chrome, and they come with cheap fasteners. So listen, you take a look at these things. These fasteners that they come with, the fasteners are chromed, but the chrome goes all the way down the threads. And if there's a hole in the chrome cover with threads that come in it, those holes have chrome down in those threads too. So you're going to have to take a tap and die set and clean up all the threads on all the fasteners that this thing came with. So I just think they're crap. Next one is they maintain heat. And this is nothing new. You know that back in the 60s, Coors beer came in a little bitty can. You know those new cans we get now, the little miniature soda cans? You know, Coke, Dr. Pepper, all of them come in these little 6-ounce cans. Well, back in the 60s, Coors had those little cans, and you could cut off the top and the bottom, and you could put them over your coil. And I remember back in the day, people popping their hood, and they'd have a Coors beer can over their coil. Well, my dad had an automotive shop, and I remember on several occasions, people would burn up their coil, and they'd come in and have to have a new coil put in, because that Coors can maintained the heat inside of that coil, and it would cause it to break down. Well, when you get all these covers on your bike, it completely jacks up the natural airflow over the motor. And everything in it, because it's got a metal cover over it, it maintains heat, and it makes your bike run a whole lot hotter. The next thing is they're in the way. They're always in the way. If you're going to just do regular routine maintenance, you got to fiddle with a cover to get to where you're going. And not only that, on the side of the road, if you break down, you got to deal with the stupid cover. And listen, here's an old cover, this old speedometer cover. The edges on these things are as sharp as a razor blade. I mean, when you get these things, you better get out your Dremel tool and go over the edges with a sanding disc, because they're sharp and they will cut you. And every time you're going to put on and off that cover, you're going to have to worry about it getting cut. So I don't like them for that reason. And next thing is, they take away from the mechanical's look of the bike. I love the mechanics of a motorcycle. I like all the linkage in the carburetor, the brake linkage, the clutch linkage, just all the different linkages, the little bits, the way the controls work on the handlebars. And I just don't think you need to put covers over all that stuff, because I love the mechanical look and the mechanical function of the bike. You know that Softail I was telling you about, you know that it even had a cover over the spark plugs Why in the world do you need a cover over your spark plugs? I'll tell you, if I'm going to want a piece of chrome somewhere, I'm going to take the part off and send it down to the chrome shop and have it chromed. I'm not going to put a cover over it. This bike has a couple of chrome covers. The horn cover came from the factory. The little piece on the end of the generator, I believe that came from the factory. And the only cover that's been added is this cover right here over the battery. And that's because the batteries are completely white and they look terrible. If that battery was black, I would probably chuck this cover. The next thing I don't like is the fact that these things are expensive. These covers nowadays, I don't know when the last time you've been to a Harley dealer, but when you go in there and look up on the wall, you know, half that stuff is made in Taiwan or China, probably 90% of it. It's expensive. I had a guy the other day tell me that he has a newer bike, like maybe 2 years old. He bought a new pair of floorboards. That just, I mean, they weren't any better than his original. They just looked a little different. He bought a new pair of floorboards. He paid $400 for a pair of floorboards. I thought, man, you know, well, if you got the money, you know, it's up to you. But anyway, those are the 5 things that I don't like about cheap Chinese Taiwan covers. And that is, they're total crap. They maintain heat. They're always in the way. They can cut you because they're sharp. They cover the mechanical look of the bike. And lastly, they're expensive. So listen, one thing I did want to mention, there is a lot of really, really good companies in America, little mom and pop operations that manufacture replacement parts for OEM parts. I mean, these are really, really good parts. They're well thought out. They're made in America. They're well made. But they're not covers. They're what you take off what came on the bike and you replace it with that unit. They're replacement for the OEMs. And there's a lot of companies out there that make a lot of really good stuff. So guys, listen. This is all my opinion. I'm old, and that's just how I look at it. And if your opinion's different, and if you just love having your bike covered with chrome covers from stem to stern, leave a comment down in the comment section. And if you like this video, go on my channel, and there's a playlist on there called Pastor Bob's Garage, and I have a lot of videos just like this one on different aspects of motorcycling. So anyway, you guys all have a blessed week, and I'll catch you in the next video.